Dear students, we are learning Consumer Protection Act and I have come with a new module, Consumer Protection Rules 2020 and Central Consumer Protection Council. These are important points because when you want to raise a complaint, you should know these rules and regulations. So we will go in detail. Now, what is Consumer Protection Rules 2020? The objective of Consumer Protection Act itself is to protect the consumer's rights. So what are the consumer protection rules? So there is an advisory council made under Section 3 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019 to protect the consumer's rights. Now, meetings are held as and when required. Whenever they feel there is a need for that, if it's a national thing, see anything, then or if it's a state level importance, they will decide when they have to have the meeting. At least one meeting is held every year. So if there is not emergency situation, at least one meeting will be held by this committee every year. The objective is to render advice on promotion and protection of consumer rights. So anything related, the issues concerned at that particular time, they can discuss and they can refer their advice to the body for taking proper action. Now, composition of the Central Consumer Protection Council. How this council is constituted and how it's functioning. So upper limit of the members is fixed at 36. 36 is the upper limit. They cannot exceed. More than 36 members cannot be there. So minister in charge of consumer affairs is in the central government is the chairperson. So we have to remember right from the throughout the country, they are taking members so that effective representation will be there. So minister in charge of consumer affairs at the central government will be the chairperson of the council. So he is the person. Next is Minister of State if he is not holding independent charge or Deputy Minister in charge of Consumer Affairs. So he will be the Vice Chairperson of this council. So Chairman is the Minister and Deputy Minister is the Vice Chairperson of this council. Now, Minister in charge of Consumer Affairs of 2 states from each region. We know that our country we can divide into 4 zones, that is East, West, North and South. So from 2 states from each region we will select the ministers in charge of consumer affairs. So everywhere throughout the country we will get the representation. Now these ministers will be changed by rotation on expiration of the term of the Central Council. So those who already represented, they will change by rotation and other ministers from that region will come into this council. Now an administrator of lieutenant governor to represent union territory. Now if states are represented by consumer ministers, then if a union territory has to be represented. So union territory has to be represented by a lieutenant governor to be changed by rotation on expiration of the term of Central Council. Even the governors will be changed by rotation. So everybody will be represented in the council. Now 2 members of parliament, one from Rajya Sabha and one from Lok Sabha. So who are actively participating in protecting consumer rights. So we know that Rajya Sabha members and all, they are nominated, good athletes, good administrators, good dancers, good musicians. So like people representing consumer rights, they are fighting for their rights. They also will be represented. So one from the Lok Sabha and one from Rajya Sabha, they will select in the council. Now 5 consumer rights activists to be nominated by the central government. Whoever consumer rights activists, maybe lawyers, maybe they are fighting for the consumer rights as a group. So 5 members will be nominated by the central government. Now Chief Commissioner of the Central Consumer Protection Council. So Chief Commissioner, there is a post, Chief Commissioner of the Central Consumer Protection Council also will be there in the council. Now Registrar, National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, New Delhi. So he will also be a member of the council. Now 5 representatives of consumer organizations to be nominated by the central government. So consumer organizations, anything, builders, consumers as a group, builders, or animal protection, consumer rights, vegetarians. So like this consumer organizations to be nominated by the central government who are actively trying to, they showing their presence through maybe through articles, maybe through protest or maybe through social media presence. So central government will select 5 of them. Now 5 consumer rights representatives mentioned in Schedule 1 of the Indian Constitution and 1 member should compulsorily be a woman. So we now you know that everyone is getting women representation is there. So whatever they want to raise, they can raise that. Now, 3 secretaries in charge of consumer affairs in states to be nominated by the central government. So, 3 secretaries in charge of consumer affairs in states to be nominated by the central government. They will be the IAS officers. Now, the secretary in charge of consumer affairs in the central government will be a member secretary at the central council. So, state level IAS officers, when they are towards retirement or after retirement, when they prove that they are very, very good administrators, they will be selected to the central level. So, that secretary in charge of consumer affairs in the central government will be a member secretary at the central council. Now, term of central council is 3 years. Now, central government can allow an extended time of 3 months. It's 3 years is the term of the council. But imagine if they're not able to reconstitute within 3 years, then what they will do, central government can give them extra 3 months time or till it's reconstituted, whichever is earlier. So, within this time, they will try to reconstitute the council. Now, working groups. Central Council will constitute working groups with special tasks. They will be giving special tasks, special responsibilities, anything of national importance or for a particular state if something of importance. They will select the special task will be given to that working group. So their idea is to study that problem in detail and give a report to the committee. So specific time period will be given, 3 months, 6 months, based on the seriousness, based on the work they have to do, they will specify the time. Now report should be submitted to the chairperson of the Central Council. So Central Council chairman will get the report. So you know that who is the chairman of the Central Council? That is the Minister of Consumer Affairs at the central government. Now findings will be discussed at the Central Council meeting. Central Council meeting is with the 36 members. So they will discuss this working group's findings and they will take an appropriate decision. So working group will cease to function after submitting the report. See, if the time given is 3 months, working group will study in detail and they will present that matter. They will submit the report to the chairperson of the Central Council. After that submission, the working group will come to and they will not function again because that will come to an end after that. That function or the work given to them is completed. Now, meetings of the Central Council for Transaction of Business. How meetings are conducted? Meetings are held at Delhi because Minister of Consumer Affairs at the central government is also the chairperson. So, meetings are held at Delhi, and if the chairperson permits to conduct meeting anywhere else, it is possible. If it's convenient for the chairperson to conduct meeting anywhere in the country, it is possible, but he has to decide. Other than Delhi, it's possible. Usually it's Delhi, but chairperson has got the right to decide if you want to conduct the meeting anywhere else. Now, if the chairperson is absent for the meeting, vice chairperson shall preside over the Central Council meeting. Vice chairperson is the Deputy Consumer Affairs Minister at the central government. In the absence of the chairperson and vice chairperson, if chairperson is absent, vice chairperson will hold the meeting. If both are absent, one elected member will preside over the meeting because that is very important. One member has to preside over the meeting. Meetings of the Central Council will be called with the permission of the chairperson of the Central Council. So meetings are always called with the permission of the chairperson of the Central Council. Chairperson of the Central Council is the central minister at the union government. Now, notice for meeting is communicated 15 days in advance. We know that 36 members have to attend the meeting and they have to get prior information. So, a notice is communicated within 15 days. Now, communication is sent through post or email for speedy communication. Whatever method they want to adopt, they are doing that, either email or speed post. Then communication letter should specify the date, time, place, where the meeting is held. All the details should be there. Now, agenda of the meeting should be provided. What all the points they are going to discuss, that also should be mentioned. Now, matters for discussion not mentioned in the agenda can be discussed only with the permission of the chairperson. See, anything else which is not mentioned in the agenda, if somebody want to raise as a discussion, so the chairperson of the council has to give the permission. Now, vice chairperson, the member presiding over the meeting, if chairperson is presiding over the meeting, chairperson has to give permission to discuss that item which is not mentioned in the agenda. If vice chairperson is presiding over the meeting or the elected member is presiding over the meeting, they have to give their consent to discuss the item which is not mentioned in the agenda. Now, minutes of each meeting should be prepared within 1 week after each meeting. It's very important. What all they discussed, what all they decided, it should be prepared within 1 week. And minutes of each meeting should be submitted to the person presided over the meeting for his approval. So we know that 3 people can be the president. One is the chairperson, vice chairperson. If both are absent, one elected member. So that minutes of the meeting should be submitted to the person presided over the meeting. It can be chairperson, vice chairperson, or the elected member. That member has to approve that. Then the draft minutes of each meeting approved should be circulated to each member. Once it's approved by the chairperson, vice chairperson, or elected member who presided over the meeting, once they approve the minutes, it should be circulated to all the members attended the meeting. Meetings of the Central Council cannot be invalid due to lack of required number of members. So 36 members, that is the maximum, but the quorum should be there. So that meetings of the Central Council cannot be invalid due to lack of required number of members. So everybody will get the information about the meeting. They will get the official information and everybody will try to attend. So this is what I wanted to explain in this module. Happy learning. Thank you.